Welcome to Miffs.
I'm Matt Huss.
And I'm Dan Rhodes. Whether you know about Theseus or you're revising your syllabus.
If you want tales with a bit of jest, or you just want to hear about incest.
What?
What? It's really interesting.
Welcome to Miffs. Welcome to Miffs.
Hello and welcome to Miffs, episode 121. I'm Matt Huss.
I'm that other guy.
You keep on doing that. No, you're Dan Rhodes, okay?
Oh, sorry, Dan Rhodes.
You're better than some other guy.
Sorry.
Did you forget your name again, Dan?
Yeah, I did. Do you remember that time I forgot my mum's name?
You forget her name regularly. You also forget that anecdote and you retell it regularly. That's what happens.
Yeah. How you doing, Matt?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. It's November. It's the year's gone by pretty fast, hasn't it, Dan?
It has, hasn't it? Yeah. At times I felt like it's gone very slowly, but then also really fast. It's weird. I can't really say it's gone one or the other, but certainly I am surprised that we're in November, but I guess that's how it works.
So, Dan, what's been your favourite thing about 2020? Because 2020 gets a lot of flack, but what's been the best thing for you?
Yeah, that's true, actually. Oh, you actually want me to say something?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Is there anything positive from this year?
Do you know what? I actually am really struggling. I mean, do you know what? Like, I was in a play at the start of the year, and that was really nice.
I've got a good one for you, Dan. I've got one which will make you feel happy.
Please go ahead.
So you know how we've been doing these podcasts over the internet, which has been a game changer for us. If only we had known that 4 years ago, that'd be very, very, very helpful. But one of the good things about that is that you haven't had to get on a National Express any time this whole year.
Yeah, that's
pretty
good.
good.
Have you missed your National Expresses?
No, fuck no. They've been awful. You know what? The happiest year of my life, actually.
Actually, you know what? I actually think 2020 has done this podcast a huge solid, hasn't it? It's done a huge favour. Because it's...
Well, but also like at
we
the
don't
start
have to
of the
meet
year,
each other in person anymore, which is
it's done us a huge solid by our friendship. Yeah. But genuinely, like, what doesn't feel like the start of this year was doing Miffs Live. That doesn't feel like that's in February.
That was the start. And I was just mentioned that like one of the things I did was a play. I just had to double check in my brain that was this year, and it definitely was. But in my head, I was like, because that was pre-lockdown. That was like February. So in my head, I was like, how is that a thing?
Yeah, because February still seems like 2019 for me, and March was like 2020.
It feels like lockdown started 1st of January, doesn't it? It feels like that, like first thing, like that just was the proper start of 2020.
Yeah, and I'm kind of hoping. I know it won't be, but like this after this year is finished, that'll be the end of that 2020. 2020's ends that year, and it's just a fine cut off it. Yeah, I mean, like whenever this pandemic finishes or whenever, that'll be the end of 2020. Yeah, I mean, like a cut off date.
Even if it runs up into like March next year, that still counts as 2020.
Absolutely, yeah. Or even if it goes on for years until like 2025, that's still 2020.
Yeah, I have read things about people wanting to petition to like have the year like we start from scratch again. When it like,
yes, but also that works for finances as well. So whatever stuff you had last year, you have to go back to it.
Yeah,
it's a hard reset on the year. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Like, any jobs you had, back it off you go. Yeah.
The only problematic thing is if you're either dead or have had a baby. Like, those are two things.
A man comes and takes your baby away. Sorry, madam, your baby wasn't born until... No, please!
Up it goes!
You know the rules.
Or like you get a knock on the door. Hello. Yeah, it's the government. Yeah, it's a hard reset of the year and they pass you a shovel. Go and get grandma out. Okay, kids. Come on.
Oh my god.
Is that too dark?
Where are you on your way to? Oh, I'm going to see my boyfriend. When do you guys meet? August 20. Nope!
But we're meant to be married.
Yeah.
Nope.
We're engaged. No, you're not. Be back with that horrific boyfriend you were with, the abusive one from 2019.
Oh no.
You know the rules.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, I'm seeing problems with the plan. I'm seeing problems.
But also, let's think of the good things though, because like the thing that's not the worst thing for sure, but a bad thing that's happened in 2020 is how Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, is like kind of like made. He's like the richest man in on the planet. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's incredibly rich. He's done very well. So I think we hard reset. We take back all of his money.
I mean, he'll still be doing well for himself if you go back a
Well,
year.
we'll just, you know what? Here's a different plan. How about we don't do the reset in 2020, but we start a witch hunt for Jeff Bezos? How about
Yeah, I
that?
was gonna say that seems better than being like, hey, Jeff, did a hard reset. Ha ha ha! You're no longer worth $100 billion. Now you're just worth $80 billion. Who's the idiot
take
now,
that.
Jeff?
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah. You're gonna be skint after that, aren't
I
you?
only got 80 billion. What you gonna do? Oh, you're not gonna do anything with it? Fine, great.
Yeah.
Keep doing
And we'll
that.
probably just spend that 20 billion giving back to the people who just spend on Amazon anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it. But yeah, are you doing okay, Dan?
I'm doing okay, Matt. I'm doing okay. I'm excited for today's episode.
Yes, because little do people know. It's a brand new dawn. It's a brand new day. It's time for the sun to arise. Shall we go into it, Dan?
Do you know what? You know what, Matt? Yes.
Wait, Dan, hold on. Wait 1 second. There's a technical issue. We've only been going on for 6 minutes. This intro usually lasts about 20 minutes.
Oh, that is a technical. There's obviously been a technical issue. Would you any more random crap you want to talk about?
You know what? I think.
Or shall we do what we always should do, which is go into the myth when it's time?
I know we should do it, but would we do it?
Are you going to ask a Matt Hoss arbitrary question?
I was gonna, but if you say it like that. No, let's go to the myth. Okay. In the last episode, we talked about all the different Theban gods in Egypt. I assume we're going to do some more Egyptian stuff.
Yes, if by Egyptians you mean Aztecs.
What? Oh my god! We moved on so
The episode 121 air horn. I'd missed that.
Yeah, in fact, I've been doing that a lot on my my Twitch recently, and people said it sounded like a dying duck.
It does a bit.
Yeah, I know.
So, Matt, would you like to know why we're doing Aztecs today?
Is it because we ran out of Egyptian stuff quite fast?
100%.
We're honest.
Yes. No, because look, Egyptians mythology is listeners of myths, go out and research Egyptian myths. I'm sure you will have a great time. But for the purposes of the podcast and production value, which we know is always at the highest standard,
we always think about you.
Yeah, we're always thinking about our listeners, and never what's easy for ourselves, are we, Matt? And unfortunately, Egyptian mythology, whilst it does have, like I say, there's a lot of them, a lot of gods, there's just very few actual stories. It's more just very academic, or it's kind of just sentences. Oh, this god was this person. And I think that's just because a lot of it hasn't survived in terms of their oral history, the actual stories. And I think we covered most of the actual like surviving proper narratives and stories. And you know what? I wasn't prepared to just do episodes where we just try to wing it. So I think it's best for us to say we've done the greatest hits of Egyptian. Let's leave it there. We've done all the best bits.
Mm-hmm.
We got the gist of it, didn't we? I think we had some great. I mean, we had a 40 out of 40. We had some great. We had some great time for the Egyptians, and we think.
I also, if you don't think we've done a good enough job, why don't you submit your own myth? Not like make it up, but find your own Egyptian myth and send it in.
Yeah, that's a good idea. One we forgot.
with Greek and Roman and Norse stuff, we think we've covered it all. But with Egyptian stuff, if you want to submit any more or from any caliber, you can do. Just email us at miffspodcast@gmail.com. Obviously, spell that as MIFFS.
But
Okay.
we've definitely done the greatest hits though. We've done all the big boys.
Yeah. And we also don't want to go out. We don't want to drag it on. Although to be fair, that's kind of the point of this podcast, to drag a thing on beyond the necessity teams it to. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of the remit of the podcast. But let's not dig into that wormhole. But yeah, I think we're gonna have a nice time, and I think I like it. It's a bit more of a smorgasbord. It's like tapas. We have a nice meal there. Let's move on.
Yeah, season 3, Miffs-cellaneous. This is the whole point of this whole season.
So we're not going to be doing Egyptian, but we're doing Aztecs. Dan, do you know much about Aztec stuff?
Aztecs, they were a Central American civilization, Matthew.
Yes, they were, and a very fascinating one. They had chocolate.
They did. They had gold.
They had gold. And there was also a really great podcast by Greg Jenner about the Aztecs. It's called "You're Dead to Me," and quite a sad way they died off. Actually, quite sad.
Mostly just the Spanish, wasn't it?
Yeah, because 90% of their population was killed because the Spanish came over and gave them all the diseases,
like common cold and that sort of thing.
Yeah, like 90% of their civilization. That's pretty upsetting.
Yeah,
right?
It's pretty crazy. But they had a wonderful and colourful civilization, and a lot of that still lives in today's, or definitely fuels a lot of modern Latino culture, Latin America.
Absolutely. So let's move on to our first ever Aztec myth. And Dan, you've been supplying us with the myths. Those who dealt it, those who smelt it. All right, I messed this one up. Okay, let's try it again. So Dan, you created the myth for us today. What are we looking at today, Dan?
What's like with all new mythologies, we're going to start where they start, which is their creation story. How they believe the world was created. Now, the Aztecs, rather interestingly, Matt, believe that we currently live in the 5th world. They believe that there were 4 worlds before ours today, and that the world is a continuous cycle. And they define a cycle by a new sun. So they believe that the sun comes and goes, and that we're currently living during the fifth sun. But there were 4 more, and we're going to find out what happened to those 4 other suns / worlds before we got to the point we are today.
So, in the intro, we're talking about the hard reset. Do you reckon that could be the 6th sun?
Yeah, do you reckon 2021 is just going to start when the sun ends and then we start the 6th one? Wow, maybe.
It could be.
If only the Spanish hadn't sneezed on them, we might have found out.
Just imagine it. They're just like, achoo! Just proper sneeze in their face. Just like, oh, that's not pleasant. So, Dan, I think...
Hey, Juan, you don't think that's going to be a problem that I just sneezed on that guy, do you? Nah.
Maybe we should just kiss him, just to be sure.
Yeah.
We shouldn't really joke about that.
Joke about that horrific colonial.
pretty sad.
At least we got chocolate from it.
Well, actually, I think chocolate existed before the Aztecs. I think it might be Mayan as well, but Aztecs had a lot to do with their culture.
That was the point.
Yes. Anyway, because it doesn't work in our climate. That's why. So there's also, you know what? I'm going to give it another plug. You're Dead to Me. There's a history of chocolate. It's fantastic. Very interesting. Anyway, moving on. Dan, I would like you to start the first paragraph. And the only reason for that, it has very, very intense names, which I know you're going to enjoy.
Yeah, so I'm going to preface the Aztecs. So, as avid listeners of Miss will know, we by that I mean you've listened to one podcast. Although we did meet a few people that have listened to multiple podcasts, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I've met a couple before and after shows. They've always been very nice.
Yeah, and this is for them because they all know that we really do not practice how to pronounce these gods and characters in Greek, Roman, Egyptian, and now Aztec. And unfortunately, we have struggled in the past, but I think Aztec is definitely going to be the biggest hurdle yet.
Yeah,
and also alone, I am going to try and pronounce them off the top of my head, but I haven't really looked at it, but I have, if you'll see, Matt, on our screen, me and Matt can see the script. I have provided a how to pronounce Aztec god names key.
Yes, it's actually very helpful. There's a lot of X's, lots of Q's, lots of Z's.
Consonants that we wouldn't really put next to each other.
Yeah, a lot of HTLI. That's the kind of thing we're looking at right now. But yeah, we're going to do it. It'll be fine.
I'm going to give it a go. Shall we begin, Matt? Shall we see how the worlds were created and how the Aztecs believed? And we got to where we are today, the fifth sun.
Take it away.
In the beginning was the void. I'm going to stop right there and say that I think every creation myth we've ever done from every civilization starts with some kind of void.
Yes. Well, I guess it's creation, though, isn't it? Because it felt like Norse had exactly the same.
Something.
Yeah. Whether it's a big old god or a big old nothing. See, that's what's going to happen next, though.
It was at some ancient time in the Aztec creation story that the dual god, first name coming up, guys, Ometecuhtli.
So can I spell that out for the listeners? It's Ometecuhtli. That's what we're dealing with. Ometecuhtli.
Or Omecihuatl created itself.
Sounds like you're trying to read off a Spanish menu.
Para mí, lasagna. This god was good and bad, chaos and order, male and female. I think those two names are their male and female name, respectively.
Gotcha.
Being male and female, it was able to have children. It had 4, which came to represent the 4 directions of north, south, east, and west. You want me to do these names as well, don't you?
Yes, please. And those gods were, Daniel?
So, the god of the south was Huitzilopochtli.
I think there's actually a pronunciation for it there, which is Huitzilopochtli.
Thank you. You can do the if you have the other one, and you do actually what they're called. Okay, Matt. You can actually look at the key. Then we've got the god of the east, which is Quetzalcoatl.
Not bad. Quetzalcoatl.
Oh, I wasn't far off, actually.
No, he's pretty good.
Then we've got the god of the west, and I know already from scrolling down that this is going to be a big one. And I think he's a big one in the Aztec gods. Tezcatlipoca.
That's pretty much on it.
Tezcatlipoca.
Tezcatlipoca.
And finally, the god of the north, Skippy Totec.
What is that? Sorry,
Skippy Totec.
sounds like the dog from Wizard of Oz. Skippy Totec. Come on. Yeah. Also, it sounds like a mad name. Like it's spelled out Xipe Totec. Which, to be fair to you, you kind of got it right. It's Sheepy Totec.
Sheepy Totec.
Sheepy Totec.
So Matt, can you just read back all those names properly, please?
Okay, so it's Huitzilopochtli, which is south. There's Quetzalcoatl for east. There's Tezcatlipoca, which is west, and Sheepy Totec, which is north.
God, I hope Sheepy Totec's in this because that's way
Sheepy. You know what? Sheepy is the cousin
Sheepy
of
Totec sounds cooler.
Yeah. Hey, Sheepy, you fancy also at the end, the 3 original names and there's Sheepy. Come on, Sheepy's a bad name. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of be called it's like the Aztec version of calling Wolfie. You know what I mean? Awful name. Awful. Also the name of my brother's son. Sorry, that's a joke. Sheepy.
These directions were very important to the Aztecs, since their great empire was believed to be at the very center of the universe. I mean, it was to them, I guess. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
These 4 gods began to create stuff. They created water and other gods. They then undertook the creation of humanity by sacrificing a god whose blood dropped onto the ground to produce the first man and woman, named Oxomoco and Sipactonal, respectively. The birth of each of these took 4 days. So you got Adam and Eve, easier to pronounce, and Oxomoco and Sipactonal.
It sounds like you got 6-pack of tonic. But
the first ever man, obviously, Oxomoco, of course, famous for making the Oxo Cube.
Yeah, absolutely. You know how
First thing he did
Adam
was make
has
some gravy, and the Aztecs were like, "Damn."
that'd be the most northern birth in the world. He comes out with a flat cap and goes, "Oh, blow neck! I've got some gravy for you. Enjoy."
Yeah, they're like, "Who the hell is this? What have we created?"
Kill him and sacrifice. But also, I love how, like, at the very start of the universe, there's a dual god, both good and evil. There's four gods that come out of that. Then they go, how are we going to create more? I know. Let's sacrifice someone. Let's sacrifice a god. Like, it's like that. They turned that pretty quickly.
So
Actually,
they basically created. It said they created water and other gods. So they create purely. Yeah, you're right. They created some gods purely so they could sacrifice one of them. Damn.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty brutal, actually.
After the creation of man, the gods continued creating the lords of the underworld, the heavens and the waters. They created a crocodile-like water creature named Sipactli, and the rain god Tlaloc, and his
Which
wife.
is
Oh my
yeah.
good god! His
Oh
wife
my, can we
called
spell it out?
Chalchiutliku. Chalchiutiku.
I think it's Coatlicui.
I like how you got the key, so you can sound really like knowledgeable. I like that.
To be honest, that key is fucking working in my favor right now.
Sipactli was part fish and part crocodile, a massive, all-consuming monster with a jaw at every joint. That's kind of a cool, like, image, isn't it? Like like in his knees, his elbow, like everywhere where there's like some form of joint, he has a jaw with
Yeah,
sharp.
but you're gonna be fucking starving all the time. If you've got that many mouths, you must have loads of stomachs. You know what I mean?
Well, he probably just has one stomach.
Yeah, but why would you have 8 mouths in your body? I assume you have more. We have more than 8 joints, don't we?
More chance to get prey, I guess. He's a all-consuming monster.
Yeah. As the gods continued to create, they had a problem. Well, their creations would fall into the water and would be eaten by the dreadful Sipactli, the half fish, half crocodile. So it was time for war. The 4 gods attacked the sea monster, pulling her in 4 directions. She fought back, biting Tezcatlipoca and tearing off his foot. That's west, wasn't it?
That was,
Yes.
yeah.
That's west, yeah. Bit off west foot. But at last, Sipactli was destroyed. Yes. From this enormous creature, the universe was created. All the 13 heavens stretch into her head. The earth was created in the middle, and her tail reaches down to the underworld, Mictlan, 9 underworlds to be exact. So they have more than one underworld, more than one heaven.
Yeah, we'll get to
But
that in
one
another
Earth.
episode, I'm pretty sure. But yeah.
Cool.
Their version of the Yggdrasil basically is a giant crocodile.
I can't, you know what? That's pretty original. That I like that a lot because to be fair, I find with creation stories it can be a little bit samey, but that's pretty cool. They've kind of gone, oh, well, how many worlds have you got? Norse mythology? You got 9 worlds. We've got 13 heavens. Fuck you. That's not even all.
We've got 9 just for the underworld. You...
yeah, losers. Yeah, they're kind of like the corporate sponsors as the Aztecs. You know, they've got chains everywhere.
So you know how we had a thing Yggdrasil, the world.
Yes.
Do we need an equally impactful name for Sipactli?
You know how we went Yggdrasil for Yggdrasil?
Yeah.
Maybe we should go Sipactli.
yeah.
Should we try that now?
From this enormous creature, the universe was created. Sipactli?
Sipactli. Like a really bored cult, or a really underassuming cult.
Even though it's a massive crocodile that's also like the world, the universe.
Sipactli. You could say that the Aztec creation story, the world is on the back of the sea monster, floating in the water of space, reminiscent of the Native American Iroquois belief that the world rests in the back of a giant turtle. Probably shouldn't have read it out, but I did.
Do you want to do that again, but make it seem like that's just something you just knew? That it was the
no.
American Iroquois.
I think that's perfect. Perfect record there.
But that's cool though. So basically, yeah, we're right. They believe that their universe is like the world is floating on the back of a giant sea monster that the 4 gods tamed.
So it's kind of a bit like a train, like the Earth is in like the middle classes, heaven's at the top of the train, and hell is at the very end, and they're kind of spanning through space.
Nice.
Nice. Anyway, let's find out who the first sun is.
The first sun, also known as the Jaguar sun, which is how would you say that in Aztec, Matt?
Nahui Oslotl.
Nice. Nahui
That's not bad.
the Jaguar sun. To complete the world, the great source of energy had to be created, the sun. This is the key to the cycles of the Aztec creation story. But the sun is so powerful, it can't just be created. It can only come into being through the sacrifice of a god, obviously. The god chosen was Tezcatlipoca. Tezcatlipoca only he's the one that had his leg bitten off, wasn't he, when they tried to tame Tezcatlipoca only managed to become half a sun, however, making his first creation incomplete. During the First Age, the gods created giants from ashes and gave them acorns to eat. A fight began, however, between Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca. In the end, that's east and west.
Yes, it is. I was just trying to scroll up quickly to find out which one it was. But yeah,
in
east
the
and
end,
west.
That makes sense. East and west fighting over the sun, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so clever.
In the end, the sun was knocked from the sky, and in anger, Tezcatlipoca sent jaguars to destroy the giants.
Oh, you know what? I'm enjoying this so much because it's random as fuck, isn't it?
So that was the first time the sun came out. That was sun number 1. That failed miserably. That was the first experiment. Did not go to plan.
And I know in Aztec culture, because I've listened to Greg Jenner's podcast, You're Dead to Me, which I'm being sponsored by. I'm not sure if you can tell, but yeah, the sun is like is so important to that culture and society. You know, it's historically the reason why they're talking about it so much is because it's such a massive part of their day-to-day life. It's very important. So let's talk about the second sun, the wind sun. How would you say that, Dan?
I would probably pronounce it Nahui Heicatl.
That's not bad.
But Nahui means sun in Aztec because that
yes,
be a reoccurring name.
And also earlier we had Ocelotl, which is like ocelot, jaguar, similar.
Yeah.
At this point, Quetzalcoatl took over for his brother as a son. They lived on pinon nuts. Sorry, I don't know why that made me laugh. They lived on pinon nuts, and for a while things were fine. A bit like a student, isn't it? Just kind of eating nuts for dinner.
They were fine. Wasn't particularly cool, but it was fine.
Just left the wrappers on the floor, and it was only lit by the screen light of the TV. But the humans became corrupt, and perhaps out of revenge, Tezcatlipoca turned them into monkeys. Furious, Quetzalcoatl sent a hurricane to blow the monkeys away. Fucking hell! What? So hold on, like.
These two are just Can I just say that Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca, East and West, these two brothers, they're fucking everything up, aren't they?
Yeah, I love it so much, right? Because what's happened here is that Quetzalcoatl is eating nuts. Tez gets a bit angry. He turns humans into monkeys, and Kez blows them away.
Yeah, I will say, actually, I thought I copied and pasted another paragraph in, but I obviously didn't. Just to say that I read earlier that the Aztecs believed that the monkeys that were left on Earth were monkeys that were the survivors from that time. A few monkeys got left behind, and they're the monkeys we see today.
Oh, okay. So we have strong grip monkeys for sure. Okay.
Yeah. Then of course, that was two suns. And then the third sun came. This time it's the rain sun, which you would say how, Matt?
Nahui Kiahutl.
Tlaloc, the god of rain, was one of the earlier creations of the gods, the god of rain and water. He became the next sun. But his personal problems became his downfall. He's taken...
Is he going to have like his wife break up with him and he's going to be divorced?
He's taken his personal baggage into the profession of being the sun with him. Oh, you never do that if you get a new job. You never do that. That's like the Prime Minister, like, you know, like that's like a kind of Donald Trump-esque, like he's taken all of his problems from his previous life. Oh, God.
This is so funny. This is a high marker. This is a high scorer.
Once again, Tezcatlipoca was the instigator. This guy is really... Yeah. Tezcatlipoca stole Tlaloc wife.
Oh my God.
Quetzalcoatl. Oh, I can never say her name. God damn it.
Do you want me to say the proper key
Yeah,
for it?
please.
Oh, there's no key for it. Shit, what I'm gonna do? I'll just vibe it. It's Xochitl.
Nice. And Talok was grief-stricken. He shone as the sun, but refused to send rain in spite of the pleas of the people. Drought swept the earth, and finally, in a rage, Talok made it rain fire, burning away this version of the world.
Fucking hell! They've had this. This is like the good place where they have to do the do-overs all the time. This is mental.
This guy, by the way, Tesla Catlapoca, he is 100% the reason that we've had to take three goes at creating the world.
Yeah, for sure. And also,
they're like, surely Tesla Catlapoca can't mess up this time. And it's like, wait, where's he going? Oh, he's banging his wife. Oh, for God's sake.
But also beforehand, he was just being a bit jealous. But now he's starting to sleep around. He's a bit of a lad. I like him. He's a dick. He's a bad boy of the Aztec world. But also, what I like is that Tlaloc, he's the rain god, and he's made the next sun. Like, that is a bad whoever made that promotion is a bad. No, they need to sort out their HR unit because, like, at the moment, what a bad. That's like trying to. If I hired Dan to be an admin assistant, it'd be awful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dan, how's the league table coming along?
Pretty good.
Good. I thought it'd be done by now.
You can think it'll be done all you want.
Anyway, but also, like, when Tlaloc was so upset, he didn't. I thought his rain would become tears, but there's like, no rain whatsoever.
And then when he did make it rain, he rained fire.
Yeah, he's a bit toxic, is Tlaloc.
They were like, please, we're so thirsty. We haven't had rain in so long. He's like, oh, I'll give you motherfucking rain. He's like, burns everyone. My goodness.
Genuinely, never before has our introduction connected so close to this start. Do you know what I mean? Because, like, we talked about hard resets, and this is definitely one of them.
Okay, Matt, it's your go now. The fourth sun.
The fourth sun, the water sun, which would be
Atl.
And I thought rain would be bad. Here's the water sun. Here we go. The Aztec creation story continues. This time, the god selected Tlaloc's sister to be the sun. She was Calchui.
That's definitely not what that says.
It is, probably.
Hold on, let me scroll up and see if we can get that.
Okay. Calchui.
It's in the key. Calchui. Yeah, you nailed that. Nice.
Yeah, it is quite hard, to be fair. I'll just call it Calchui. Filled with jealousy, Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl struck down the sun. Why is he jealous this time?
I don't know. These guys, East and West, what are they doing?
They have a lot of issues. I guess they've got a long journey to go around.
Yeah,
they've got some direction to go in. I guess it can only be one direction. Do you reckon they're fans of Harry Styles?
Yeah, who isn't?
Because they just like One Direction. So there's a joke there. I might edit it into a joke.
You edit that how you feel that.
Yeah. you know me by now. I won't edit that.
Yeah, all of those are going to be in.
Anyway, as she fell down, the sky opened up and water flooded the earth, and things were once destroyed again. In the darkness between the suns, Quetzalcoatl descended into the underworld to bring up the bones of the dead. They would be used to bring the life to the people who are here now. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah, so the creation of the fifth world, i.e. the one we're in now, that's kind of its own myth in itself, actually. So, yeah, we'll leave that for another time.
Ooh, brilliant. Well, I think it's time to go and mark this bad boy.
Let's do that. I'll probably see you there.
Hey there, my name's Matt Huss, and in this link I have an American accent, and I advocate the safe use of Miffs podcasts. In small doses. Ooh, enjoy that jingle. Dan, how are you doing today? And do you enjoy that myth?
But Matt, I think that was that's the kind of myth we like on Miffs.
You know what? It made a very strong first impression, didn't it? It was good.
We like nonsense.
Yes, and nonsense seems to like us. But firstly, so I'm gonna kind of gather that the reason that they had all these different kind of suns is that they all fell back down to Earth, and that's what gave the Earth its elements. Is that what's happened?
I mean, you might be thinking too hard into that.
Well, I was just thinking because water landing on the Earth, and then
Oh, that's
rain and
true. Yeah,
wind.
yeah. Rain,
Yeah, I
like they
mean,
gave them fire. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah,
so
water god, fire god. Yeah. You're right.
and
Okay, I'm with you. That
and
wind. Oh my god, you're so right.
and and jaguars.
Jaguars, yeah. The four elements: earth, wind, fire, and jaguars.
Tell you what, that's the best tribute band in the world: Earth, Wind, Fire, and Jaguars. Who wouldn't go and see them? I would pay top dollar.
No, that's really. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
Actually, they've actually.
Oh my god! Oh god! Oh, hey, yeah. Come on, that's not bad.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Sorry. Yes. So Dan, let's go and rank this on 4 different categories. We have life skills, we have morals, we have creativity, and we have WTF. So let's start with life skills, which is the practical things we learn in this Smith.
Well, where do we start?
We built a world again.
I mean, we literally built 4 worlds technically.
We killed a crocodile.
We killed a massive crocodile, and we created the universe out of its body. We created humans.
We fucked ourselves.
We sacrificed gods.
We learned to sacrifice. We learned to
Kill someone's wife.
learn to eat, having a jaw at every joint.
We created giants.
We learned how to take your anger out on other people. For example, like in Rain and Fire on the Earth.
Yeah, we learned how to eat acorns and pinon nuts.
Yes, absolutely. It's a very nutty episode. But also remember that Brazil nuts aren't nuts; they are seeds.
They are seeds.
We learned how to be jealous as well.
Yeah, I feel like we learned a lot. It's pretty high.
I'm gonna say 7. Do you think more?
I think it might actually be an 8. For once, I actually think I might go higher than you. I think it might be an 8.
Let's go for 8. Fuck it.
They built some hardcore crap.
Yeah, nice.
Right, morals out of 10 again. The moral things we've done? Well, they keep messing stuff up. So there's a whole thing here about vendettas and revenge. Like, just let it go, guys.
Well, I think actually it's a really good commentary here, and I think this is why it's going to earn some major big points here. Because for the whole this thing, we have a duality. Firstly, we have homotilicality and homotilicality, which is good and evil, order and chaos, male and female, and there's a duality there pulling each other. Then we also have a literal pull between we pull the crocodile in different directions. We're pulling the sun between east and west, and we're also pulling jealousy and ranks and stuff like that. I think in terms of like there's problems with jealousy, there's problems with understanding, and yeah, I think it's it links with creativity, but I think it's the morals are pretty high actually for that reason.
Yeah.
Also, don't sleep with someone else's wife.
Yeah. And don't let like your feud destroy things that someone else has made.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think it's high. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna say 9.
I agree.
It's a tasty myth. Sorry, I'm getting very excited.
Yeah, it's a shame it wasn't very creative, or WTF.
Well, I think it was quite creative.
I'm joking.
Don't trigger me like that, Dan. I'm in the heat of the moment. This is like I'm like a dog in heat. Just what? Yeah, Dan. Do you know my Discord? They have a channel called Out of Context Matt Horse where they take things that I've said. I'm just posting there, and it's never good. It's never good.
Is it
Shall I read you out a couple?
Your own Dangerous Dan file.
Yes, it is, but it's audible and broadcastable. Do you want me to read you a couple right now?
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'll start off with.
Please do that.
It's good. Okay, here's one. Do I want a world tour or do I want heat death? Matt Hoss 2020. There's also I'm a messy guy, both in my bedroom. Wait, no, not in a sexy way. I finish it off with a facial. It's so fast, it's too hard. Matt Hoss and Also, you came at the worst time. He said to I said to my mum's boyfriend, and also, if you want to be a VIP, get in your bath. Yes, there we go.
I'll
Good
take
bum sandwich. That's a thing I also said.
that. Nice. Ah, I'm glad we took that little detour for some uncontextual Matt House.
Yeah. Anyway, creativity.
Right, this is very creative. Come on, I mean, pretty crazy times.
Dan, I'm gonna say 10.
Yeah, I
Off
didn't
the
even know
gate.
we didn't even need to go into it because we're about to do that in WTF. So let's just give it a 10. Come on, we all listen to the
Yeah.
myth. Now we can talk a little bit about this, and this will be a little bit linked to why we just gave that a 10. So WTF. I mean, just throw out. It doesn't have to be chronological. Just throw out stuff that you stick out in your brain.
I like how they have multiple different heavens and underworlds. Like they're expanding. That's a bit WTF. Yeah, I mean they've gone all out. They've ripped they've bit off a foot, and there's a bit of gold there. We literally ripped a sea monster in 4 directions. That's pretty.
And what's the sea monster that's now the universe called, Matt?
I believe it's called Sabandali.
Always funny. Sabactally. It's like
It sounds like it feels a bit like a perfume advert. Sabandali.
Yeah.
For girls.
When the world is pulling you in all directions, be your own universe. Sabactally.
Oh, that's good. That's not bad. That's not bad, Dan. I love this podcast. It's not for everyone, but I love it. Okay, but
so yeah, I mean the fact that it had like, let's go really WTF. The Sapactally, the creature, it had like jaws in all of its joints. They made a god just to sacrifice that god immediately so that they could make humans. Who, by the way, they later turned into monkeys and then blew away in a hurricane.
Yes.
The rain god was promoted to be the god of the sun, and then, spoiler alert, didn't work.
Yes. So there's been a lot of genocide, the killing of monkeys. They've killed many gods and destroyed them for no reason. They slept with other people's wife and also rained fire. And yeah, and also remember the ash and stuff like that. It's at first I didn't think it was that bad, but also it's pretty messed up actually.
Why did they did such a Norse myth thing here where they like mentioned that they made giants out of ash who ate acorns? That is never explained again.
Also the birth of Oxymoko and Sipatonal took 4 days. Don't mention any more. That's it.
No.
That's it.
Also, why pinion nuts?
Yeah, pinion nuts. Yeah, I don't know. It's if you have any more context, please email us at misspodcast@gmail.com. But Dan,
my favorite actually is when it was like the pinion nuts. It was like the second world. They started off and everything was fine. Wasn't great, just fine.
Fine, mate. Deal with it. It's fine.
What do we think?
I'm thinking 9 because, well, maybe 8, but I was also thinking.
I think a 9. I think a 9.
No, okay, yeah, that's good. Because I don't think it's gory as in like rip off the heads and fuck the bodies, but it does have a bit of everything, right? And it does it pretty well without overdoing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
But that's a pretty high score. So we have 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 9, which means I think it's 36.
Yes.
That was some good maths from me right there.
That was some good math.
Oh god, I'm fucking sexy.
Did you do that math by adding it up, or did you just take away the difference from 40?
I took away from 40.
Very smart of you, isn't it? Good maths.
Yeah. Thank you. So that's 36, which is, for a brand new myth, that's pretty strong going, actually.
That is very strong going.
Promising start from the Aztecs. I like it.
In fact, is that the second highest ever? I don't know.
Well, we would know if you had a league table.
God damn it. It always comes back to that, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the reason we have it. The reason we thought about doing it in the first place is so we can kind of compare.
Oh, I just want to be good at something, and I can't even do that.
Well, you don't have to be good at it. It just takes 5 minutes of your time. Will you do it for the next episode?
I will try. I actually am going to try and make real progress.
No, you're not. You're definitely not. I also said off air to Dan for my Christmas present he can just make the league table, but I don't want that because that shouldn't be a gift to do a thing he said to do for 2 years.
Oh, that's actually really funny. That's like telling your mum that for her birthday you're going to clean your room.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely. But yeah, it's like fine. I'll stop pissing on the walls for your birthday.
I enjoyed that, man. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, you know what? Quality episode, that one. Quality. But yeah, Dan, where can we find people online and where can they find us?
At Miffs Podcast on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
Also,
and
Misfits page on Facebook, little fan group we've got going. Pretty cool.
And if you want to be read out on the podcast, why don't you email us at miffspodcast@gmail.com. It doesn't actually have to be anything in particular. You can just come and say hi if you want.
Or any Egyptian missed out if you want to get angry.
Yeah, we probably have, to be fair. But it's like a world tour. We're going to go around the world. That's the whole point of the jingle as well. Do you enjoy the new jingle, Dan?
Oh, yeah, I loved it.
Good. Do you actually, though? Like, I'll cut this bit, but like, do you really like it?
Which one?
The go around the world.
That one. I don't think it's your best.
Really? I thought it was my best.
No, because the best one is like your my name's Matt Haas, and then I'm doing an American accent. I always like that one.
Okay, thank you. All right, but yeah, also give us 5 stars on iTunes, drop us a subscription, and follow us. And yeah, it helps us out. On top of that, why don't you follow me at Matt Hoss Comedy on Twitch? I've got lots of followers, and you can join me on my Discord as well. You can also check out my new podcast called Castable, where I get famous people, not like Dan, to pitch their dream music festival. We're nearly done with season 2. It's really good.
What he said.
Anything you want to plug, Dan?
Nope.
Got anything going on?
Yeah. If anyone wants to get in touch, I will pay them £10 to do the league table for me.
You know what? If a listener does it, I won't speak to you ever again.
What if I did it and then it turned out like later down the year that like 2 years later you find out that actually I paid someone to do it and then I'll trust is broken.
Well, our trust is already broken, to be fair, so I don't think it's not going to be a big impact anyway.
Matt, aren't you meant to be? You're on a lunch break, aren't you? Meant to be working?
Yeah.
Well, have fun.
Well, yes. Hopefully, and hopefully, whenever you're listening to this, I hope it's either on your lunch break before you go to bed, or you wake up in the morning. It's craving some Miffs. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've been Matt Hoss, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Miffs.